Perfect song for you, Alice.
You can laugh when you dream.
Sure. You know, I told Mom, I said, now Mom, she's cutting down like a whole row of fizzers in her front yard. And I said, Mom, why don't we have you take a little easy on Saturday so that when we are ready to do our talk, you'll be real fresh and ready to go. So she says, okay, all right, fine. So this morning she tells me, well, I got that one bush out yesterday afternoon. Indomitable. So I really appreciate the fact that you've been willing to come and sit on this platform. You are foundational to Common Ground, and where I call you Mom, there are an awful lot of people in this room who that you treat like daughters and that also rely on you as that mother figure. So it's a great gift to have you share your journey with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So I gave you a list of questions before we started. And the first thing she said is, oh my goodness, I hope I don't embarrass you. And I said, that can't happen, Mom. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But you know, I want to start, Mom, because you obviously, after almost 90 years, you have a lot to share with us. And you were a child of the Depression.
I was.
And, you know, that is part of my becoming story because it was part of your becoming story. And so that piece has really been instrumental in my own soul's growth. So what I noticed about this piece that I chose is this idea that this was very hard on families, this depression. And it was particularly hard on your family because your father was one of those 1.9 million fathers that abandoned their family during this time frame. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Well, I remember him up until I was about 5. And he left when I was about 7, I think. And I never ever heard from him again until he died. And so he was there. And matter of fact, he was even in California, can you believe it? Anyway, I never saw him again. The difficult part was for my mom. My mother was a really neat lady that had no idea how to be a mom. She had 4 little children. I'm the oldest. He left when I was 7, and there were 4 of us. So imagine how the little kids were in there. And she did her very, very best. She really did. But she just was, if she had had her way, she'd have been a singer, probably, and probably done a really good job at that. She would not have been a mom, but she was a mother. And of sorts. And so, well, no, that's not nice to say, but what I mean is she tried really, really hard. I remember reading books with her and those kinds of things she loved. But the rest of being a mom was hard for her. She was more into herself, I think, a little bit. But I love my mom, so don't misunderstand me. But the bad thing was when my dad decided to leave. Then everything fell apart with 4 little tiny kids. What are you going to do?
And so when your father left and your mother didn't, like many of us, have all the skills she needed to be a mom of 4 little children in very difficult situation, you and your siblings ended up living in an orphanage. For most of your formative years, you lived in an orphanage, didn't you?
I did. I was very lucky to be there, as a matter of fact. Before we went to the orphanage, we had to live with my grandmother. She had a little teeny tiny house. Her husband was a policeman, very stern, and being in a teensy little house with 4 kids when you're not used to having them around was not very nice. And so eventually we got to go to the orphan's home. Luckily, we all got to go together. As it turns out, they were trying to put us, my grandmother was trying to put us in all different places. So my mother's mother, my grandmother that I never did know, had a friend who was an attorney in Denver, and he was instrumental in getting us all in the orphan's home together, which was very, very nice. We were safe, we were warm, we were fed. We did not see each other because of how the home was built. We saw each other occasionally at meals, and that was all. So that was one of the bad things about being in the orphan's home. However, the rest of it, when you think about being safe, being warm, and I felt really lucky that we were there, and I have always felt that way. I'm not a bit sad that we were there, except for the fact that we had no warmth with my mom or with my brother and sister.
So, but the good thing about that was, Alice, you got baptized into every single religion there
did.
is, didn't you?
They made sure that we were very holy. I'm a Baptist. I was dunked. I'm a Presbyterian. I'm a Methodist. And what was the other one? There was another one, something else. But I should make it, Tony.
So they were making sure that you were saved and that you were going to have a holy life, and that.
I have to tell you though, one of the things that was really scary there was we had a matron that was probably 18 feet tall. And she was very bosomy with a white starched uniform and little teeny glasses that fit on her nose with her hair in a hairnet. She had her room outside of I was a big girl at that time, and she was the matron. She would call us in her room, and my goodness, were we ever afraid to die. By the time we got through in there, you were afraid to die.
Well, and speaking of that, so how has that been for you? Has that lingered in your soul's journey? Do you still have that same fear?
No.
No?
No.
That's good.
I'm not
That's
afraid to
good.
die, I'm just afraid to be sick. That's why.
Isn't that the truth? I think that's
Yeah.
a fear we all have. So one of the questions I asked you, there obviously after, I know you well, and after 90 years of living, you have explored so many different things. But one of the questions I want to ask you is, what experience that you've had in these almost 90 years has really changed your outlook on life? What can you think of something or several somethings that really did impact you?
Well, probably sounds solicitous, but actually being in Common Ground has been one of the biggest things. But I think when you come out of the home, you have to reorganize your whole life and get going. And I think one of the biggest things was the fact that everybody seemed to have, even though I was very, very poor, everybody seemed to be the same. And those kinds of things, I never felt any different, although I really, now that I look back, I really was a whole lot different. But I think, I don't know, I think I've always just been accepted or felt like I was, and if I wasn't, I didn't know it, so that's good. But I don't know of any one thing, except for coming to Common Ground. I'm a better person than I have in my mind than I was before, because my best thing that I am is judgmental, and so I'm trying really, really hard to not be that way, and it's helping me a lot too. Well, I can't be. No, I don't know, Judy, what else to tell you, honey, because it seems like everything that you do and everybody you meet seems to have a big, one thing when I came out of the home, I had an uncle, my mother's brother, that decided that he was going to save my soul, and he did, not my soul, but saved me. And he taught me a whole bunch of everything, treated me like a daughter. And I've been so lucky all my life with everything. I don't know how come I'm so lucky, but I am. But we had a family store, and I think working for him and learning to have a really good work ethic, I think maybe is probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, if that makes any difference or sense.
You mentioned being lucky. You were lucky in marriage.
Oh my. Yeah.
You were lucky in mother-in-law.
Oh, that lady. I tell you, if everybody could have a mother-in-law like mine, there'd be no problems in the whole world. She was something unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So let me ask you this. What's one thing about you that you wish everybody knew?
And one thing that I wanted to really be a teacher. And when, I think I was about 26 and had 3 little kids. And so I decided this would be a good time to be a teacher. And so I went in and talked to these people, and they said, "Oh my goodness, do you realize how old you'll be by the time you finish? You'd never make it." So I didn't do that. But outside of that, I can't think of anything that I can talk about that you'd like
So, but later in your life, you did teach in a classroom. You
I
taught
did.
many children, and as an aide in a classroom. And you have been instrumental in the lives of how many grandchildren and great-grandchildren?
Well, I have four grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. Is that correct?
That's right.
And going to have another one soon.
That's
So
right.
that's a nice thing. That's a nice thing to be a grandma.
Yeah.
Be a grandma and have your kids happy like you. That's pretty good.
And so how do you spend your afternoons with...
Janie comes in. I feel so sorry for her. She has to play with me after school. But she comes in every afternoon, eats her food, and then we either play games or she does her little iPad thing, or we just talk. And she's really a wonderful little kid to talk with, because she's too smart for me most of the time.
So Janie's 9.
Janie's
She's
9.
your great-granddaughter.
Mhm.
And so I would like everyone to know that you work every day.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
to work at 9 o'clock every morning, actually 8:15, and stay until exactly 4:30, and then go home. And so you have an opportunity to she's still very vital and working. And
I'm very grateful that I have a place to go. Thank you, Dennis. But it really is a nice thing to be able to go. And the neat thing is, when I answer the phone, they don't know that I'm so old. And so that's nice. But it really is. It's a wonderful thing to be able to be well enough and have enough brains left to work. I'm glad I can do that.
And you live on your own. You have your own beautiful home.
Well, it isn't so beautiful today. Plumbing.
A plumbing problem, yeah. And you do your own landscaping. You wash your own car in the driveway. She's telling her family she's going to be cooking that Thanksgiving dinner till she can't lift the turkey anymore. Yeah. So that's your work ethic, and that's your. I have to be honest, Mom, and tell you that sometimes I'm really tired, and I'm watching the clock to see when it's 4:30 so I can go take a nap.
Bless your heart.
So you have instilled in your family this incredible, this resilience. This your grandson sitting back there in the sound booth, and so you've taught us all a lot. It's been pretty awesome. If the whole world were listening, Mom, what would you want to say?
Oh my goodness. I would, oh boy. See, that was one of the questions I had a hard time figuring out.
Yeah.
That one and the other one. But I don't know. I think for me it would be look on the bright side as compared to always see the bad side. Make sure that what you think is that it's going to turn out right, then it will. It usually does. Feels to me like you just think it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. And it either will or it won't. And if it won't, you have to work with what you got.
And that's been your experience in life, right? From the very beginning. Your life has not been easy.
No, but I've been so doggone lucky, though.
And you've seen yourself as lucky, but there have been some difficult times.
Oh, sure. Well,
Like after 90 years of experience, there have been some difficult times. Are there difficult times even today?
well, yeah, but the thing about it is, if I could do anything about it, I would, but I can't.
And you do sometimes.
I do? Okay. Oh, you mean, oh, yeah, well, yeah, you have to put your 2 cents in, you mean?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course.
And then they say, oh, okay, Mother.
So I want to ask you something, Mom. What's the worst advice you've ever been given in all these years?
Oh, I think one of them was not to go ahead and get my teaching credential. I think that was so sad when I think about it. Of course, I didn't have enough guts to do it anyway, but that was too bad. What would be the worst advice? You know what, I don't think I really take advice very well, so I don't know. Come to think about it, I sort of say, oh, okay.
See, it's this independent spirit, this pioneer spirit that has gotten you through, that's for sure, that's for sure. I'm going to ask you this question because I like the way you've worked with this question. So what do you think the purpose of life is, Alice?
You know, isn't that a dumb question to ask? Well, it is, because I'm thinking, now, you know, I've been worrying about this ever since I've been in Common Ground, because I never thought of it before. But I kept thinking, how do you know what the purpose is? So I thought, well, okay, because Judy asked me this question, I'm going to go online and see what it says about finding the purpose of life. And so I did that. And in order for me to find out my purpose of life, I would have had to take a 5-hour course and write down every day, all day long, what is my purpose of life? What is my purpose of, and I thought, I don't think I can do that. I don't have time to do that. So I'm just not going to ever know what my purpose of life is. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, I could probably answer this question for you, but I'm going to let you answer it for yourself. If you could choose one of your personality traits, your qualities, to pass on to everybody else in the world, what would it be?
Oh my. That I don't have any idea. I don't know. I don't know. I never think of myself, as being anything. I don't know, Jude. That doesn't seem that, I don't know.
So how about humility? How about loyalty? Resilience.
Loyalty's a good one. Now that would be good. Integrity too.
Yeah.
Integrity and loyalty, those are. So I see now what you're trying to get. Yeah, that's it. That's good. Yeah. That integrity and loyalty are good for me. Yeah.
Joy, optimism.
Joy, optimism. See your friends, your daughters, all of your other daughters are helping you.
Thank you.
Persistence.
Love.
Okay.
Love. Yeah.
Hard work.
Hard work. Hard work.
Snappy dressing.
Independence.
Fashionista.
See? This is the thing. We often see in other people qualities that they don't necessarily recognize in themselves, don't we? Yeah, absolutely. There you go. So let me see what other questions we've got here, Alice. Did I already ask you who has had the greatest influence on your life?
I think my Uncle Homer, for one. I think my mother-in-law, for one. I think my daughter, for 110. But isn't that cool that you learn from your kids? Isn't that just great? Because I think, of course, we've been close for a long time. So, yeah.
About 68 years.
No, but I mean close. And so I think it's easy to see because she's so cool anyway, but she does so many nice things, and it kind of rubs off, and that I'm learning to do the same kind of stuff easily, so that's good. But I've had so many good teachers, but I think the biggest teacher was my husband. Yes, I think so.
Does that, you want to cry?
No.
I didn't think so. Somebody get a tissue.
No, I'm good.
We'll stay away from that topic.
I'm good.
We'll stay away from that topic. You
good.
are one of the
No.
lucky ones in life. You got your own tissue?
I got my own.
Here you go. I knew it.
Be prepared with another one.
So, I know that you have prepared for today, and one of the questions I asked you is, if there were a song that would describe your life, what would it be?
It would be the one that Robert and I are going to play for you and sing for you right now. Now, I have to preface this by saying, what a terrible day for me to sing with Terry here. In the first place, I can't sing with a lick. I just like to. I really can't. But I'm going to try. So let's see what happens here, Robert. Okay. you know the words, sing along and help me out. You gotta have heart. All you really need is heart. When the odds are saying you'll never win, that's when the grin should start. You gotta have hope. Mustn't sit around and mope. Nothing's half as bad as it looks here. Wait till next year and hope. Face
When your luck is bad and zero.
get your chin up off the floor. Mister, you can be a hero. You can open anymore. Then do it just to do it. You gotta have heart. Miles and miles and miles of heart. Oh, it's fine to be a genius, of course, but keep that old horse before the cart. First you gotta have heart. Then you gotta have hope. There you go.